I want to talk really quick about where we are at with Destiny right now, because I have a hard time thinking that this is going to be something that we are streaming a ton of in the coming weeks. But you never know. You never know, right? So I thought we'll hit it a little bit today. We'll have some fun. I do want to talk about a few things before we get started into the stream, because I think that there's some stuff that needs to be addressed. And look, I'm not about to say anything that no one has not said yet on Twitter and their own fucking YouTube channels, but I have not really had a chance to talk about it yet. So first and foremost, we're dealing with probably one of the biggest content droughts that we've had in Destiny in a long time. Edge of Fate came out about a month ago, and I liked it. I really enjoyed the campaign. I really enjoyed playing through it. As I said before in a video, it checked quite a lot of boxes for me, and brought some of the mystery and whatnot back. And I was like, yeah, this is fucking cool. With that being said, though, we had 2 weeks of that, of kind of that fresh feeling of like a new campaign, and then we had Solstice, which actually this year was fucking really fun. I totally enjoyed Solstice. There was good armor to grind for with the new tiered armor and set bonus armor system. There was new weapons to grind for that felt really fucking good. I think the submachine gun from Solstice might be literally best solar submachine gun like in slot. So we did that. That was 2 weeks. And now here we are. I don't know what else to do. I hit 400. All anyone is saying on Twitter and respective YouTube channels is how fucking horrible the grind from 400 to 450 is. So I'm sitting here being like, why would I do that? Like, people are just like, this was literally the worst experience of my life, was going from 400 to 450. So I hit 400 and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm happy with this. So there's nothing to do. Typically, I guess where we'd be going right now is doing, some raids, some dungeons, some grandmasters, and none of that has anything to do with the power progression. No raids and dungeons are included with this new kind of tiered loot system, so no one's running those. Grandmasters are kind of out of the game, and now there's this new thing called Conquest, which they're only allowing you to run one time, and then that's it. So you can't do that. That's not even fucking farmable. So we're just kind of in this like drought, which I gotta say, for a game like Destiny, not a fucking good move. Not a good move. It just, I wonder sometimes, like, who is steering the ship? Who's sitting there making the calls? Who's saying, yes, this is a good idea? Because again, I sort of feel like having this content drought a month after you've come out with, a big expansion that's supposed to kind of like refresh all of the systems and the things, like, not a good look. Not a fucking good look. I couldn't even get a handful of my friends to jump back into the game for the Edge of Fate, because all they read about was how absolutely horrific the power grind was. Now, I did have a buddy of mine, Teach, who I believe is in the chat, who jumped in with me to play. And I gotta say, while we were grinding, going from power level 10, which where it starts you, up until I think he's at 2 something, he's on his way to 300, I hit 400. We've been having a blast. We've been having a blast getting some new weapons, some new armor. But again, once you are kind of like, all right, I've done the stuff, right? You've done the stuff. How many fucking nights in a row can you jump on and do Starcrossed or Kelsfall or Encore? How many nights in a row can you jump on and do a fire team ops? How many nights in a row can you jump on and do the same? I mean, let's look right now. What is there? In solo ops, we have 6 missions in solo ops. How many times can you do the same fucking 6 missions in solo ops? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so, and in Pinnacle, we have 4 missions. How many times can you do the same 4 missions over and over? And that's a problem, Like, I applaud Bungie for coming out and being like, hey, we are going to put in this new portal area hub where we keep everything. Cool, great. Does it take a little bit of the mystery out of opening up the destinations tab and looking for the planet you want to go to and exploring the planet and doing the thing a little bit takes a little bit of the mystery out. But I think it's cool that we have this thing now that where it has these things, How many fire team missions do we have? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. So it's cool that the portal exists. It's cool that when Solstice was around, we had a spot that came here that talked about Solstice and you could access all the vendor stuff from here. But again, man, like it just sort of feels half-baked. It feels like they stuck it in the oven, set the timer to 20 minutes, but it really needed 40 minutes or an hour, and it came out and it was fucking kind of lukewarm. And I hate saying about it because at the end of the day, God damn, I like this game. I really do, man. But it's painful when we are sitting in a moment with this game where there's just nothing to do. And there is so much fucking content in this game. That's what's crazy, is that they did not incorporate a lot of the old content into this new system. So it just sits and people have no reason to do it, right? So that's a fucking bummer. On top of that, they did a TWID the other day that was, I don't want to say that it was the worst TWID in history of Bungie, because I don't think that it was, but it was not fucking good. I mean, it just was going up and down about the epic raid that's coming out September 20th, which is, I don't know, do we need epic raids? Do we need the Desert Perpetual to be epic? Another raid race, which I know that they know that people are going to fucking do it, and they're going to have this big fucking player count over a weekend. But then it's going to, I don't know. I mean, I'll say this. To put out a epic raid, that shit better be fucking epic, right? So they do that. And then what else was in the TWID? Not swap for the raid, which again, I'm just like, Bungie, let your players play the game the way that they want to play the game. If they want to do loadout swaps and change shit back and forth and do the whole thing and menu gameplay, let them do it. Who cares? Who fucking cares, right? If you want to be like me and have the fucking guns and everything's lined up and it's all ready to go and you got the different loadouts, great. If you want to be someone like my buddy Teach, who's like, yo, I'm using this fucking gun because this is what I got and let's fucking go, then let him fucking play like that. If it doesn't work and you can't get past the shit, you can't get past the shit. That's whatever, right? Like, I think that like they just sometimes miss the boat on their messaging and it sucks. It sucks that it feels like they are so disconnected from their community and from the people that play their game, because the shit that they do sometimes, no one's asking for. No one's saying, please make us play the game the way you want us to. No one's saying that, So the TWID was a fucking bummer. They're nerfing certain activities in the portal to give less drops. In a game that is a looter shooter, there should never be a time in which you are nerfing activities to give less drops. It should never happen. It should be the exact opposite. You should be buffing activities to give more loot. It is a looter shooter. Give us more stuff, especially because half the stuff is going to probably be fucking garbage, or is going to probably just be a dupe of something we already have, right? Like, I don't know. That's a bummer, right? That's a fucking bummer. Give us more stuff. Let us have more gear. Dungeons and raids are not in the portal, right? So you have I talked about that a little earlier, but you have a bunch of dungeon and raid content. What is it? Like 10 raids off the top of my head, 12 raids, somewhere along that number, in a similar amount of dungeons, and makes no sense to run any of that content because none of the loot, armor, or weapons is reprised and is part of this new system. Not to mention that I think it was Cross who said this on his stream, which was a huge, a fucking amazing point, but we don't even have the fucking vault space to handle reprised weapons and armor from raids. My God, I mean, dude, I'm sitting on 650. What do I got? What do we got in the vault here? 657 out of 700. So I got, 43 slots left? Bro, you can't add reprised weapons and armor to every raid and dungeon right now. No one could we have no spots left in our vault for it. So that's a fucking bummer. I have a note here, again, so much old content, but why would anyone play old content? There's no incentive to do. I hate the fact that Bungie keeps kind of pushing this, like, there's like an avant-garde modifier that it seemed like they were doubling down on in the TWID with like another part of it. But again, you got to use our gear. You got to use the gear that we say that you got to use for certain activities. It's like, no one wants to fucking do that, dude. Just let people play the game how they want to play it. If they want to use old gear, new gear, whatever. Also, you can't use class items. You can't use exotic class items in those type of activities. My buddy Teach has got a fucking killer ass hunter build that uses an exotic class item, and any modifier that's avant-garde, he automatically cannot use the build. Why? Just fucking make exotic class items available in all that. Like, again, it just doesn't make any sense to me, man. Like, they do shit sometimes that I just feel like is so ass backwards. And again, I feel like it comes back to, it really feels like they are so out of touch with the community and what people are asking for. And that is a bummer, that after all of these years, I feel like it's like they just don't know who plays their game and what people want. And that sucks. You know, I would love to know, like, what, like, again, who's steering the ship, who's sitting down and making these decisions, who's talking to each other and in a room going, yeah, this is a great idea. Let's not update the raids and dungeons. Let's not add every exotic mission to the portal. Again, you know, it's a bummer. I think that they really needed Edge of Fate to bring players back, and I don't think it did. And that sucks. We saw Pete Parsons I guess he was passing the torch. There was a whole thing. He's passing the torch to Justin Truman, which is another Bungie guy. So Pete Parsons is out, which I know a lot of people were kind of hoping and asking for. I got to say, the whole thing, just the way that it was kind of framed, seems like he was pushed out probably by Sony, which again is probably a good thing. But I sort of feel like, where are we going with all of this at this point, right? You know, and again, not that I keep seeing it being pushed around a lot, like Destiny 3. Oh, Destiny 3 would have saved it. Destiny 3 would have saved it. And some people are like, no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. I got to believe that if Destiny 3 came out, or there was an announcement, hey, we got D3 coming in 2026, 2027, that there's going to be a good portion of players who have given up on Destiny 2 would come back. Only because everybody's starting fresh. It's a brand new thing. It's a brand new, like, dude, let's go. Let's go. And maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Just my opinion. But I don't know. I don't want to, you know, I try to look at things positively with the Destiny stuff, because I do, like I said, I do really enjoy the game. But it's sort of unreal that Bungie can miss the mark by so much, so many times. And that sucks. That is a bummer. So anyway, that's all I'll say about it today. That's my little, we've been doing these little Destiny rants, and that's all I got for it. I enjoyed the Edge of Fate campaign, but like I said, 4 weeks after everything launches, we're at this point now where fucking shit feels real lonely, real fucking lonely. There ain't a whole lot of stuff to do. Also, why would I grind to fucking 450 if in, I don't know what, less than a month from now, I forget if it's Ashen Iron or if it's Renegades, but you'll just be able to get Prime Engrams to go from 400 to 450, and then what, 450 to 500 or 550? Like, we're just getting it back into the same kind of song and dance of the power grind. And the power grind as it sits right now is not fun. It is not fun. There's kind of early on where it's like, yeah, let's do all these activities and get all the things. But once you hit like maybe 250, you hit 250, even say 300, and you start to be like, all right, this is fucking exhausting, you know? So anyway, look, that's all I got to say about it. That's all I got to say about it. It is what it is. It is a bummer. I'll say this. It is a bummer that a game like Destiny 2 and a developer like Bungie, that it can feel so out of touch with the community and what people want for a hot second now. And hopefully they steer the ship in the right way. And, you know, we're laughing about this in 6 months, but it feels pretty bleak right now. And that's a bummer. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Let's get into some gameplay.